All right, guys. You guys go and get your mech set and get ready. Batman and I are going to pop up, do some pregame chat, and kick this off. Crash and burn, Mech Warriors.
Good luck, fellas. Have fun.
You.
All right. So, 12 Battle Masters? Is that what we're expecting?
You know, out of the assault mechs that were available, I personally liked the Battlemaster best. You might see one or two people, possibly Squeakers as an example, being a little less experienced than the rest, who might opt for the Direwolf just for the extra armor that it has. I wouldn't make that choice personally because it's very, very ponderous, and it, the faster mechs are more forgiving of mistakes. Um, I would choose a Battlemaster. I would say probably 9 out of the 12 of them will.
Awesome. All right, we're going to go ahead and set up Lances. First up, Dom the Destroyer. We roll a 3. He's going to be in Charlie Lance. Let's roll for Vortmax, a 4. Vortmax is going to be in Alpha Lance of Team 2. Elwood stays where he's at. Bellicose Drake moves down to Alpha Lance of Team 2. Archon Ent goes to Charlie Lance with Dom. Let's roll for... Uh, let's roll for Squeakers. Stays where he's at with Elwood. Hydro Kyle, next up, goes down to Bravo Lance. Kerberos goes down to Bravo Lance. Fat Guy stays where he's at. Move to Dachi up. Punisher goes here. And Dachi goes here. No, not Tadachi. Sorry. Belt. Alright, I think that is correct. That is our disposition. Tadachi and Apollo are room holders, right?
That is what I am tracking. Didachi and Apollo are the room holders.
Alright, cool. So we are good. We are 12 mechs. The map is...
Caustic Valley.
And we are Crash and Burn. So yeah, the field is got a couple of extra new pilots or less experienced pilots. Let me say, Squeakers Punisher, kind of newer to the game. Still got Hydro Kyle out there ticking around. Dom the Destroyer and Hellion Kel. Dom and Hellion having already secured wins this evening in the heavy and light categories respectively. So it should be interesting to see how this unfolds. Vortmax probably one of the better pilots out there as well. So hopefully he's able to get himself some kills on this one.
Yeah, Vortmax is kind of a dark horse. He doesn't generally want to play. Like he doesn't practice for competitive matches, MRBC, anything like that. But he's got a lot of skill. He and Lynx and I were lance mates together in our previous unit, and we trained hard and we fought hard, and I think he's better than he gives himself credit for. So I would love to see him just kind of come through and just kind of show up the field, perhaps. Not picking him necessarily to win it, but I wouldn't rule him out arbitrarily.
Oh, absolutely, and I tend to agree with you on that. I love seeing someone who it's not that they lack confidence; they just don't they don't have they're not willing to go out and say that they are as good as they are.
So I was right about a Direwolf, Death of Gods in a Direwolf.
Hydro Kyle also in a Direwolf. Archon in a Direwolf. Elwood in a Direwolf. Everyone else, Battle Masters. So 1, 2, 3, 4 Direwolves on the field.
And the rest are Battle Masters. Okay, Vortmax getting some space from Death of Gods. He better watch out for Dual Goss in the back if he doesn't get himself a little more. Honestly, I think if I were Vortmax, I would get in right next to that Direwolf. And
just get him right behind him. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm zeroed in right now on Hellion
killing
Squeakers, seeing what Hellion's going to do when he starts this out.
Okay, so it looks like Vort's trying to use terrain to get Death of Gods off of his back.
Where is that happening at? South or east in the map?
Oh Jesus! I don't have the map up because I'm crazy.
Press
where am
B.
I? Yeah, I got it. So we're in the northwest corner. Okay, Death of Gods and Vortmax are both engaging that fat guy. He has pushed in on both of them, and they are not shooting each other at the moment. Yeah, that fat guy is just in a horrible position, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Um,
75, 68% taking it on both sides.
Yeah, Death of Gods missed with his dual Gauss shot the first time, but he hit him that time. So I don't think that fat guy is long for this world. He is putting some damage in on Death of Gods, though. Got him down to 81%.
Fat guy dead. Dropped.
Yeah.
First casualty. First blood to Death of Gods and Vortmax teaming up, it appears.
Yeah,
Death of Gods moving
and
to
they
get
may
a...
have
Oh,
even...
back shot.
Oh, nope. Back shots. Honestly, I was kind of surprised that Vort didn't push him at that point. I would not have turned my back under those circumstances. I would have closed the distance and said, you know what, this guy's already down 20%, and I can probably finish that job.
We got another brawl happening here at the south on the map. We got Dom and Punisher duking it out, even 75-75 right now. Dom
I see
slightly edging it out.
Yeah, they're both in Battle Masters,
Dom,
and there's also an exchange.
Taking down Punisher, but crit CT, paid the price for that. Gonna have a hard time pulling out any other engagements at this point.
Bellicose at 50%, dueling with Archon Ent at 85. Bellicose is smoking at this point. And
Bellicose, crit CT, crit shoulder.
Yeah, he's hurting. It looks like Archon's down an arm, though. So,
Archon down an arm and a torso, but no weapons on that side of the mech. Oh, one of his Gauss Wipe rifles is gone, actually.
Yeah, and his back's open to... who is that shooting him with the large
looks like
pulse?
Dom the Destroyer getting in on this action.
Dom is taking advantage of the fact that he's got two crippled mechs over here that are focused on each other.
Bellicose down, Archon finishing off Bellicose, but Dom doing what he can to finish him off. Looks like there's a fight up here in the northwest corner of the map, a three-way. I'm going to go ahead and get in on this.
The northwest corner? Oh, okay, you're over there. I see where you're going.
Squeakers and Elwood duking it out. Looks like Hellion's in this brawl as well. Squeakers at 55%, but holding the high hill.
I'm checking the southeast corner at the moment. We got two guys over here. Looks like they're playing a little bit of peeky poke. Neither one really maneuvering on anybody else. It's Cerebus at 87%, firing at Hydrokyle at 91. Hydro's sitting back and making use of those Gauss rifles.
Squeakers put down by Hellion Kel with a flank maneuver, going up the left side by Elwood held the base of the hill. Now Hellion and Elwood duking it out on that same hilltop. Hellion in a superior position.
You're over in the northwest corner again?
Yep, Hellion and Elwood finishing it out.
Okay, I'm flying over Vortmax, currently at 75%. Looks like he's running away from Death of Gods, who's
Elwood
still at 80.
Down.
Death of Gods was at 81% after dueling with that fat guy, and he is continuing to ping Vortmax, who was at 100, and is now down to 73, where Death of Gods has only lost 1% damage since that fat guy left the fight.
And Hydro moving in the backside.
Oh, they're working together on Death of Gods now. Oh, okay. Honestly, I thought he was going to finish off Vortmax, but maybe not. Maybe he's working with him against the heavier threat at the moment.
Does he have a shot on Vortmax through that terrain, though? I think that might be why he's focusing on Death of Gods.
You know what? I'm pretty sure he knows Vortmax is there. Yeah, see, now he's maneuvering behind him. He's using him as a human shield.
Who's this mech in the backfield here moving up on him? Kerber is holding tight, shooting Hydro in the backside while he's focused on Death of Gods.
Yeah.
Interesting dynamic here. We've got four mechs fighting each other. Ooh, great shot, Death of Gods on Vortmax.
Yeah, they're all playing very cagey. This is a very peeky pokey match, and you know what? These mechs are built for that. They don't need to brawl up close. They all have range. They all have the armor to bounce in and out of cover and shrug off shots here and there. So I think, given the fact that this is a relatively warm map, they're all really playing it very smart. I don't really see.
Here comes Death of Gods making a maneuver, trying to get up behind Vortmax. Vortmax pulling off. Hydrocal control. Oh, they both turned on Vortmax. Three of them firing at the same time, dropping Vortmax.
That poor guy. I'm heading back over here to the southwest corner for the moment. Archon Ent at 58%, pushing on Hellion Kel at 49%. They're just trading fire. And, okay, the third guy up there is Daidachi. He's just an observer. So we got two mechs dueling it out in the southeast corner, and an additional, it looks like 4 pilots left over here on the east side. Did I say east the previous time?
You'd be on the west. Death of Gods moving on Hydrokyle now. Both of them cored out. Death of Gods orange cord. Hydro finishing off Death of Gods. Kerber's probably going to make his move now and roll in on Hydrocal. Hydrocal taking fire from the right. Apollo, Locust, just an observer. Hydro shooting, not knowing what's going on. Oh, no. It's Dom. Dom the Destroyer coming in.
Yeah, Dom's sitting at 55%, which normally is not where I'd want to be fighting a pilot of Hydrocal's caliber, but under the circumstances, he's probably in the best shape of any of the mechs remaining in the field. It looks
and here comes Kerberos moving up. Don't know if he's putting in behind Hydrocal to finish him off or getting an angle on Dom the Destroyer. This will be interesting. Kerberos putting fire down on Dom. That answers that question.
Yeah, Hydra is looking for Kerberos. He expects him, I think, to go for his back, so he's proactively trying to protect himself. Unfortunately, he's in a bit of a vice right now. There's not enough cover
for his wide body,
behind that rock. Yeah, he's too big a mech.
There he goes, Kerberos getting the backdoor kill.
So we got Kerberos and Dom on this end. And what? Just one pilot remaining on the opposite side.
We got Archon out there. Yep.
So Archon, he's big, he's ponderous, he's slow, and I think he's probably just content to sit back there until he sees something he can shoot with his Gauss rifle.
And Kerberos finishing off Dom the Destroyer. Kerberos only has an open shoulder running that Battlemaster, so he is not overly exposed. 3 large pulse, 3 medium pulse lasers. Still a full complement of weapons.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, with Dom going down, we've had a different winner every round, in spite of the fact that we've had multiple pilots that were repeat participants. So that's really nice to see. I like that everybody's getting in and mixing it up, and I hope they're all having a good time while they're at it.
Absolutely. We're down between Archon and at 53% and Kerberos at 65%. I'm going to pop over and take a look at Archon and see just how toasty he is. Now, Archon, open left leg, lost his left torso, left arm. Still got a pretty good array of weapons here. Even if he gets legged, enough structure buffs on those, or not structure buffs, but armor on those legs to engage it with Kerberos.
Kerberos is smoking from what appears to be the back of his left torso. I'm sorry, his right torso. But he's not missing any components, so if he can keep his back away from his opponent, I think he'll be all right.
I agree, and it looks like Archon Ent is making some moves here, moving to the northeast, while Kerberos goes counterclockwise around the caldera, maybe making a move to cut across the caldera. Will be interesting to see if these pilots mix it up in the southwest corner of the map, or if Kerberos goes on a goose chase and doesn't actually find Archon.
Well, if they do engage, I think the range is going to be a significant determinant as to how that exchange goes. Archon definitely has superior range with the Gauss rifle and with Clan large pulses, but if Cerebus is able to use the cover well and close the distance, I think he might hold the advantage.
I think they might. Be
I'm not really familiar with the pilots.
Kerberos is he's a cagey Aussie, and known for his ability to move dynamically on the battlefield. Also, one of those dark horse pilots. When you talk about the Australian component of the 54th Mechanized Regiment, Emeritus' name comes to mind. Tadachi is the leader of that sector of the unit comes to mind. But Kerberos, formerly Leps Play, probably one of the better pilots, and not really outspoken, and just kind of sits back and enjoys himself, and will kill some mechs.
Yeah, those are the kind of pilots I like. Those are the people that I'm excited to jump into game with. When you let your guns do your talking,
we might be having an engagement.
That to me is just fun.
Kerberos coming around the corner. Archon Ent should have visual on him now. Weapons fired. Here we go. Archon Ent definitely getting the better of that exchange.
Archon, unfortunately, doesn't have really any position to move. He's near the map edge, and he's in a position where he doesn't actually have any cover. So
yeah, Kerberos has his rock. He can play on both sides of this rock structure and get shots on Archon.
Yeah, he can just peek, fire, and then fade, and Archon's just kind of got to stand there and take it at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Kerberos losing 2%, trying to make a bolt across the gap here, it looks like.
Yeah, I think he's trying to clear that big rock cropping on his right. Yeah, he's definitely trying to put that between him and that direwolf.
Lost 8% on that bolted cross though. Not really sure if that was worth it.
Yeah, he lost an arm too. He can't shield with his right side.
Crit on both of his shoulders at this point, left and right shoulder crit. Archon Ant not really showing any more worse for wear than when this exchange started.
Archon's missing his right torso completely, though, correct?
Right torso and right arm, yes.
So if Kerberos can pick off that left shoulder, I mean that'll end it. And Archon's down at 37% now.
CT crit on Archon. This next volley should finish him off.
Kerberos, I think they're just going for it.
Yeah, Kerberos definitely lost that exchange again. If he can get one good volley in, this could end it.
He's just got to steer clear of that darn Gauss rifle.
Heat level critical.
Oh, overheat. Archon
there he goes.
Dead. Kerberos CT shot to finish the game. The winner of the assault category goes to Kerberos, formerly Left's Play.
Well fought. And now Daidachi shooting one of his posse buddies in the back.
And these guys enjoyed that entirely too much.
Yeah. Little sadistic bastards in their locusts.
Oh, overheat. Apollo gonna pay for this.
Feeling they're not trying very hard. They're just dragging this out.
Well, the good thing about them dragging it out is we're on a 5-minute play and give the match a chance to end before we pop down and have a group chat about it, so those that are watching are able to follow along in the conversation.
I swear this looks like some ridiculous mating ritual. Animals that are dancing and frolicking.
Watch as the male locust expunges his green, sticky laser beams towards the female locust.
I'm fairly certain that as soon as Daidachi hears our horrible attempt at Australian accents, he's going to disown us both, leave the unit, and form his own.
Crikey. Good game, guys. Let's go down and congratulate our victors and talk to our participants.
Let's do it.
Kind of in the same position.
Good fight, you guys.
Damage.
Whole 680
Yes.
team damage.
All right, guys. Good game.
It's 700 damage. Damn.
That was the best game.
Well fought match.
8 points away
Awesome,
from
guys.
breaking 1,000.
I gotta sign up for that. That was really cool. I like watching that. That's sweet.
So, Kerberos, the little exchange that was going on there, did you and Hydro have an agreement, or did that just kind of happen naturally?
Well,
No. It's just because we started together and I was aiming him up the whole time.
Yeah, it was funny because you got in that position where Hydro, was behind that rock and wasn't worried about his left flank, using that tiny little sliver of rock to hide his huge-ass direwolf behind. And then here comes down the destroyer, gets Hydro's attention, and then all of a sudden Kerberos opens up on Hydro's left side, and poor Hydro's a direwolf hiding behind a leaf, nowhere to go.
Well,
Reminds
I
me
could
of that
actually
scene
see
in,
that Dom was open, so I didn't know about Hydro, so I thought if I take him out, Dom's already open, and bam.
It reminded me of that scene in True Lies where Tom Arnold's using the lamppost to protect himself from gunfire.
Yeah. Everybody started creeping in on my grid, and I'm just like, fuck. There's nowhere to go.
I wanted to talk for a moment at the beginning of the match where my camera spawned. I was watching Vortmax and Death of Gods, and at first I was thinking to myself that based on the fact that Death of Gods is in that big long range dire, and Vort is he's got large pulse lasers, but he doesn't have the same range. Vort, I totally expected you to get in close and just try to nuke that dire when you didn't. And then watching the two of you gang up on that fat guy, I thought maybe you two had reached an agreement right up until you turned your back and got dual Gauss in it for your trouble.
Yeah, no, I was like going to say, okay, we killed that guy, so I'm going to head off and get this other guy, and all of a sudden I get a Gauss up my butt.
Sorry.
But you were intruding on my
little
grid, good
Randy,
sir.
and it was like, oh man, that back's so open. I gotta get in there.
Yes, I know, my butt's so attractive.
So Dom, in that fight that you had, you creeping up on the engagement that was happening and putting the large pulse lasers on the back of that mech, were you going to wait until they finish it out, or did you decided to jump in mid fight there? What was the logic?
I was gonna try and jump in mid fight, hoping that he'd be distracted with the other guy. So, but he turned and took off my 3 large pulses, and that was it.
Archon pulled back into that corner after your early engagements there. Did you see when Kerberos was crossing the map on the northeast corner of the caldera, or did you not know he was there until he fired that burst at you from behind that rock?
No, I didn't know he was there until it was pretty close.
Squeakers, king of the hill, if you will, right? Holding back on the hilltop, you got Helya and Kel, and who was that over there with you? Was that Elwood?
Squeakers and Elwood.
It was Elwood.
Elwood. So Elwood holding it down on the right side, Helya and Kel squeaking around to the left side, and squeaking Squeakers, if you will, and then assuming the king of the hill position. That was an interesting engagement. What was kind of going through your mind there, Squeakers?
Well, initially I was just trying to get on the other side of the hill, and then the third person came in, so I was trying to get those two to engage.
Yeah,
first.
the entire match was all of us just trying to get the other two to engage. That was all it was. Because
Yeah, I
Elwood
got
was trying to get me and
too.
Squeakers. Squeakers was trying to get me and Elwood was trying to get. Oh, it was just
I'm
nuts.
trying to get both of y'all. I thought I could. I thought you've been fighting for a minute or two. I thought I could come in there and get both of y'all.
Yeah, definitely some interesting dynamics, and you'll see this when you watch the playback if you have an interest in that. Watching as the mechs reposition on the field and how the pairings and the 3 and 4 ways kind of peel off. Quite an interesting dynamic, and I wonder what part of that is played by the team component, right? So you'll see in the pairings, the reds and the blues are kind of staying in close proximity to each other. I wonder if we had a real free-for-all game mode from PGI, if it would change how people are splitting up.
It'd be much better.
Yes.
Well, I know, like, Switch, you and I talked about this when we were in the private channel earlier, but if I were participating instead of spectating, one of the first things that crossed my mind is I don't really want folks looking up on their map and knowing my exact position and which way I'm facing at all times. For that reason, I would be inclined to turn against the dudes on the same side of the matchup as myself first. Just to eliminate
part
that
of
threat.
The reason why it happens so the reds versus blue, or the blues versus blues, reds versus red on this map particularly, is just because we're in assaults and on a relatively large map. We're gonna walk out to the middle, and the guy that stands behind is gonna get a back shot on you, and you can't turn around or reposition fast enough. At least for me, the whole idea behind fighting my own teammates was they're gonna shoot me in the back because they can't move up as fast as I can. And I'm gonna die either way. So try to take out who's gonna shoot you from behind.
Yeah,
absolutely makes sense.
Backdoor the backdoor.
Exactly.
That's like an Inception loop, man. So it is time for the open open weight free for all battle. So anyone that's not in the lobby, check to see if you've received an invite. Let's get everyone in the lobby. Let's get set. And it's whatever mech you want to play, whatever